Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's going to be a
I can't
video
wait to
game.
see that.
So
Or
hi,
a
hi
video
everyone who
game.
may be watching. We haven't done a video in a while. I know I've solo done a few just like little things, but
Yeah.
I realized that E3 is on Saturday. I thought it was on Tuesday, but it ends on Tuesday. It starts on Saturday, and I have some thoughts, just things to talk about. It feels like it's
Yeah.
time for something like this, you know.
I think it's time. We need to make one video a year.
Yeah, and also just like E3 didn't happen last year, right? Am I imagining that?
It was, if I am correct, it was 3 seconds long. It was streamed. It was like, please look forward to these
Right.
games 5 years from now,
Okay,
and
so
then it
yeah,
was finished.
it's gonna be all digital this year too, but like with more of a schedule.
Yeah, hopefully it'll have that really famous flute player playing his flute again.
Oh yes, you mean the
I'm
Sony guy
hoping
who played the flute for like Ghost of
actually
Tsushima?
like, and he was like actually a international.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
like
So
one
that's
of
a
the
good segue because actually, so the one thing we know is Sony won't be there. So the flute guy, unless Microsoft bought him off, probably is not going to be there either.
what if he just shows up anyways?
He
He's like,
should.
hey guys,
But like, yeah,
he really
so
should.
Sony not being there is weird, but like we knew that already. And also it's even though neither of us are Xbox players, it doesn't I mean, most
Huh.
of the games shown are gonna also be on PS4, so like /5. Like it's not a big deal. So like we're not
Yeah,
gonna
we
see
can just kind of infer.
yeah, and like what is Sony's first party stuff? Like there's God of War and like Ratchet and Clank and
My someone on Facebook said something that I have absolutely no actual tangible hope for, but he was like, "Hey, Sony is planning on, I think they said 24 new and pre-existing games." And then he said Jack and Daxter is also having its 25th anniversary or something. And I'm like, shut up.
well, I
That's
mean,
not happening.
like I don't think it's going to be shown at E3, but I think because Sony again Sony's not there and Sony does their state of play things now whatever, but Jack and Daxter I mean we've already had the Insane trilogy, the Reignited trilogy, the Bikini Bottom rehydrated, Medieval
That's
remastered.
the craziest
Like
one to me.
oh yeah,
I
still.
love that that exists.
Like I think
Yeah.
Jack and Daxter probably at some point, at least the first one, is gonna get a Insane trilogy style remaster, like before this trend of those wears off. But yeah, I don't think we'll see it at
All
E3.
I'm saying, all I'm saying is that if Ratchet and Clank can still pump out like three mediocre, kind of not great games a year,
Yeah, I mean the new one looks
then
good. I don't think I'm gonna play it just because I'm not like a
I'm
fan of the franchise, but it looks neat.
I'm definitely probably not going to play it. And I was a mild Ratchet and Clanker in my time. I think Up Your Arsenal was one of my first PlayStation 2 games,
Yeah.
and I didn't get the innuendo in the title. And until my dad laughed about it and then said, Up your Arsenal, Asa. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I'm 5 years old. Um,
Yeah.
they had a weird reboot where like Ratchet is kind of like less sassy, and now he's like a Disney character. He's like,
Yeah,
I
it,
want
it
to make it big and
it is
big
very
fun world.
Disney. It is weird that they got away with the innuendos and the titles all back then. Like,
That's great.
yeah.
It's
But
absolutely
anyway,
fantastic.
probably won't see that
Yeah.
either because Sony's not gonna be there. But and one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed about
Never.
that I know we're not gonna see about Sony being there is VR stuff because we know the PSVR 2 exists. It's been like shadow announced, has been announced
Yeah.
but not revealed, if that makes sense. But like I'm not
Yeah,
expecting that
someone
anytime
has
soon
said that.
anyway. Like
Yeah,
not
so
we know
someone
what.
on the team said, "Yeah, I bet it,"
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like, we know things, but they've talked about it. They know we know things it's going to have, but like I know it's gonna
Hmm.
be a while before they formally reveal it. And the main reason I think, not so much that it's not coming along, it's just that people can't even get the PS5 yet, and they're trying to release an expensive headset
Stuff's
that only
getting
works with the
lost.
PS5. It's not the time to advertise that because it's going to be without shoehorn it even into being even more niche than it already is. So
I know we already talked about it, and I know that like this is super old news, but I just can't believe that the PS5 refuses to like use other people's sound stuff like Dolby Atmos speakers because the CEO's like, I swear we're coming out with our own stuff, guys. Please look
yeah,
forward to play Sony surround,
yeah,
like
Sony's been
shut up.
way
Just let
too
me do
like
the thing with the thing.
they're getting too high and mighty with having control and needing to do everything their way, which is the other reason that they're just not at A3. They're like, we're going to do our own thing. We don't need to be there. People are going to buy our stuff
Everything is
anyway.
so everything is so
I
proprietary
can't stand
now.
it.
It's like it drives me up a tree,
Apple's by
and
far the worst
everyone's
about it,
trying.
but people realize that Apple does this, and
Oh,
now other people are doing it. Anyway, we could go talk about this
yeah,
for hours, but
forever. Okay, what we want, what's
well,
gonna be there, and what
let's
do
get.
we
I have a
want?
list of here, as you can see on the screen. Whoever's watching, I mean, ignore the
Yeah.
ad on the side for running shoes for road and trail. But
Running shoes. Well, I do need some running shoes that are
I
durable
have
and
in one
easy to
tab I
wear.
have the list of like just solid list of all the publishers are going to be there. On this tab, I have just a
Yeah,
schedule of the conference. So let's instead of just like well, so we at the end we can talk about like whatever. But if we just start now, talk about everything we want, like it's gonna be crazy. So let's just go day by day about what's gonna happen. See, maybe we'll see.
yeah.
So it starts on Saturday, and there's gonna be a pre-show starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern, hosted by Alex Golden Boy Mendez, Jackie Jing, and Greg Miller. Okay,
Oh
but
my God,
so
I can't believe it. I can't wait.
but the pre-show, like I honestly never even really watched the pre-show. I'm not expecting to see anything interesting. Like every once in a while, they'll reveal something like crazy, like niche but
Yeah.
crazy during the pre-show. I remember the pre-show, Nintendo's pre-show once was what revealed that Earthbound Beginnings / Mother One was being released officially. But like,
Which is absolutely ridiculous
yeah,
that that exists. Like, I'm so happy,
it
but
is strange.
holy
I'm happy to
smokes.
like.
Yeah.
So yeah, pre-show probably not much, but the main conferences that day on Saturday are going to be Ubisoft and Gearbox. It's Ubisoft's
Okay.
conference is going to be called Ubisoft Forward.
Ooh. They're going forward with
Yeah,
their games.
confirmed to be there are some about For Honor, Trackmania, The Crew 2, Brawlhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion. So nothing I care about.
Oh man, can't wait for that Brawlhalla update.
You say that, but like all the things I just mentioned, Brawlhalla is the only one I like mildly care about. But
Well, they got Steven Universe in there.
they do, yeah. But Ubisoft, like,
Steven Universe for Smash, man.
I haven't played a Ubisoft game in a long time that like I've cared about. But like, they're still like
I
they put
they
out
every
quality products, if not like formulaic products. You know?
well, I mean, I hate to tell you, but Watch Dogs Legion got really bad reviews for some reason. It
Yeah, I didn't
was,
really
I
follow
think,
it,
from
but
what
I've
I heard,
heard
it was
some stuff. Yeah.
unplayable. Yeah, I heard people were like, "This is the most janky thing I've ever seen,"
So like
and I'm like,
all those
"Yikes!"
games I mentioned, those are games that are already out and like are active, but like
Yeah,
I can't imagine that anything major is gonna be real. So I think if Ubisoft does anything, it's gonna be something interesting that surprises us. On this website, it's saying Far Cry 6 and a new Rainbow Six are likely. Again, don't care about either of those, but yeah, we'll probably see something on that. And maybe it'll be like that time
This
where,
is also going. Oh yeah, sorry. What?
oh yeah, maybe it'll be like that last time where we're just like 5 Tom Clancy games in one conference, and this poor dead author is being milked for all he's worth. But
Uh-oh, monetization.
but I mean, I don't care about any of the Tom Clancy games. I don't really care about anything Ubisoft's consistently pushing out. But
Here's something that's going to be the least surprising shit in the whole world. I still believe that a Japan open world Assassin's Creed would have printed money back in the heyday. It would have been the
oh yeah,
easiest like investment in the world, and I still don't know why they never pulled it
yeah,
off. I think just because they were unconfident with like I guess how much flat plains would be there. You know, you have like a couple cities in like say feudal Japan, but you know, it was before they had, you know, Valhalla and stuff like that where they tried to make flat worlds traversal like
yeah.
interesting.
I mean,
That's the only explanation I could
that yeah.
like glean
I,
from
I
it.
think a new Assassin's Creed is like almost guaranteed to be announced, and I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to play it. But
Oh yeah, I keep staring at Valhalla on like the PlayStation front page, and it is I think $20. I think it's either 25 or $30 right now.
yeah, I mean, people like them,
I'm assuming
but they're
people are
just
not playing.
they're technical marvels. I just do not care. But
Yeah, I just man, oh man,
but
it's
something we
just
haven't heard about in a while though that could be Ubisoft is I'm blanking on the name, but the game that the sequel to that cult classic game from the GameCube where you're like the photographer.
Beyond Good and
Beyond Good and Evil. There,
Evil,
I can't believe I can remember. Yeah, but that's Ubisoft, and we know
the
that
thing that
exists.
has
But
it has been in development since the beginning of the PlayStation 4, or I
y-
guess the Xbox One
yeah, so
X
we could
12,
that we're
whatever that would
overdue to
be.
hear something about that. That's like the one cool thing. Here's a out of left
Yeah.
field thing, but I'd be interested in seeing a sequel to Mario plus Rabbids because that was a surprisingly good
Oh
game.
my
Like, I,
I can't believe they said ass in a Mario
like
game.
everyone knows the Rabbids suck, but that game was like actually like a genuinely good turn-based strategy game.
That
Like
game
I
was
really enjoyed it.
XCOM with rabbits. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
like there was a
there you
lot of
go.
charm and like the core gameplay was actually like rock solid. But anyway, that's Ubisoft. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about Ubisoft all day. Do you want to talk about Ubisoft anymore?
Love Ubisoft, my
Okay.
favorite.
Next we have also on site
Love
is going to be
climbing
it's going to
towers.
be
Love
Gearbox, which is the
Gearbox. No,
what
it's the board.
the board
It's the board.
the
It's the
board
board.
the board yes yeah the Borderlands developers.
Oh, oh my lord! I forgot about them. How could
So
I forget?
I've never played a Borderlands game. Like they're from what my understanding, Borderlands games are very good. There's a lot of content and a lot of unique stuff, but it has a very
Yeah,
specific sense of humor that I personally find
Rick and Morty
obnoxious that really pushes me away from it. But here's the interesting thing. There's
tacos.
a recent tweet heavily implied that that they're going to see a new franchise from Gearbox, like a franchise, like new IP at
Oh my
E3.
God,
So like
Sworderlands.
competent developers making something that's not Borderlands, that's something to be excited for. Is it
I,
like
yep, I
the
would
only
love them
like
to have like good working conditions because I think they were one of the people who were like, Gearbox treats us like shit.
oh yeah, that's like all of them. That's terrible, but
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I mean
yeah. I forget who's the guy that spearheads that company. The guy everyone
Randy
memes about.
Pitchford.
Mr. Randy Pitchford. Mr. Randy Pitchford has made quite a name for himself. I'd love to see a redemption arc.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the Randy Pitchford redemption arc.
But like, so like,
Maybe Steven Universe can come out of Super Smash Brothers and be like, Randy, you have to accept the creative process. You have to realize people need to work in
need money
sensible
for their,
conditions. And they'll be
yeah,
like, wow, Steven.
yeah.
Wow, Steven, I forgot.
If it
The
like
way.
okay, there's
Thank
our
you for
first like
showing me the
E3
way.
prediction. Steven Universe is going to teach Randy Pitchford the power of
We're-
compassion, and if this doesn't happen, you can't trust any of our predictions ever.
Him and David Cage, they'll both be in a room and it'll be like, Mr. Cage, you gotta stop putting weird, like, racist shit in your games.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta stop making robots. say,
before we
"I
get
have a
too heavy
dream,"
with
like
this, though, I'll just say,
Mr.
just to
Cage.
close off the Gearbox discussion, like, I I feel like I would like the gameplay of Borderlands, but I hate the style and humor of it so viscerally much that I will not play it. But a game that's
I'm not a
different.
big looter shooter personally.
I
Like
mean,
I think I played two for a little while and it was competent and it did its thing, but the loop didn't get me.
fair
The
enough,
loop
yeah.
didn't snatch me.
But
Yeah,
who knows?
and
Even
that's
if
just a personal thing.
their new IP is even going to be the same genre, like it could be
Who
literally
knows if
anything.
it'll
So
have loot?
there's a
Who
place
knows
for
if it'll have
surprise.
shoot?
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
Saturday. Saturday's Ubisoft and Gearbox. Sunday, there's a lot on Sunday. Starting with the Xbox thing, which is probably going to be the biggest thing since Sony's not going to be there. And Xbox
Xbox.
recently bought Bethesda. Well, they bought ZeniMax Media, which owns Bethesda.
Oh yeah, they
So
bought Bethany Ezda.
yeah,
I
so
forgot.
I don't think that Bethesda games moving forward are going to be Xbox exclusive. I really don't. That seems like
Skyrim too.
yeah, but I mean, I also just don't think we're going to see anything much, if anything, from Bethesda at E3 because
Yep.
QuakeCon is also coming up. So Bethesda's another one that has their own thing. Like we might see like
You're
something,
right.
and there's like wait, you'll see. Here's a teaser, but you'll see more at QuakeCon. But like we know
Yeah.
Starfield exists, we know Elder Scrolls 6 exists in some capacity. I think we'll see them, but not until QuakeCon. That's my prediction.
We saw one PNG like 3 years ago
Yeah.
and nothing else. And Todd Howard was like, "Hey, Fallout 76, remember that?" And
Yeah.
everyone went,
I mean,
"Ah,
we
you're
might
so
will probably
funny."
see another mobile game from Bethesda. That'll be lovely.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls mobile
Yeah, like I remember
DLC.
when Todd Howard went on stage and like without shame said, "Yeah, Fallout Shelter. It turned out to be our best. Our like we made more money off of Fallout Shelter than off all of our other like actual AAA games we've made before, and that's crazy to think about." And that's just the
Yeah, it
worst
is.
omen. That is just the worst omen that
I'd
they could
say
possibly
that.
have said. Like,
I'd say that's the craziest thing. Yeah, you'd be right, Mr. Todd.
yeah. So
Ooh.
we probably will see more Bethesda mobile games. It's just gonna happen, but they're still making Elder
You
Scrolls
know,
6. Like,
I hope a mobile was like a niche market that's still. I'm really concerned about, and this is a real sentence I'm saying right now, but I'm really concerned about what Genshin Impact is going to do to mobile gaming, which is the funniest sentence I think
yeah.
I've ever said.
Well, the thing is,
It's doing gangbusters.
it,
People love it.
it's very
People
successful,
eat
but
it
like
up.
that's just one example though. There's like a lot
Yeah.
of mobile games like that are stupidly successful. And honestly, I haven't played it. I'm not going to stoop to that level, but Genshin at least has gameplay unlike some of those games that are like unlike like Fate Grand Order and Raid Shadow Legends and all that. Like at least
My
Genshin
God,
is a
no.
game in addition to the terrible gotcha stuff.
It
But
does have a game. My main criticism is I wish characters looked more like fighting game characters and less like super like uninteresting, just woobified anime characters.
yeah,
Man, oh man, I've never been less gripped by the character design of like an anime video game than Genshin Impact.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody just looks like they look like Diet Coke.
You're
They
right.
look
I
like
can't.
the
I
character
can't argue
design
with that.
version of
Like,
Diet Coke.
they
Yeah,
really blend in the background. It's bad, but yeah, mobile gaming is just going to
there's
keep getting
no
worse. I think
Ragnar the
eventually people will get
Punich.
sick of this, of like the gotcha stuff and everything. I think
Yeah,
eventually, and by the time that phones catch up to like, and this is inevitable, that phones are going to
yeah.
eventually become as powerful as consoles, and then most games are just going to be developed for phones. But by that point, like real games will too. And I'm just hoping that's the
A
future.
phone game is basically like three-quarters of a Nintendo Switch game. Like people can almost comfortably play like PlayStation 2 stuff on a
Yeah,
phone.
it's getting there, but not yet. So I'm hoping in the meantime, there's not going to be too much other crap we'll have to suffer through. But we will have to suffer through, I'm
Yeah.
sure, at least two more. That's way on
Oh, it's
lowballing, but let's just say for E3, at least two more Bethesda mobile games that are going to make
yep,
money but ruin the company. So, other than
yeah,
Bethesda, I don't know what Xbox else could do. I think, if anything, this is the conference that like the AAA big things are going to happen at. But I honestly have no clue
yeah,
what they're going to be. I think later when we're talking about individual like publishers, we can talk about that more. But I
yeah.
don't like Xbox itself. Like Microsoft, what are the first party Xbox? I can't think of any good ones. like,
Halo. Yeah,
yeah,
there's probably going to be something Halo
yeah.
related.
Halo
They
Infinite still has it. We
mentioned
still haven't
there's a
seen much
sprint.
about Halo Infinite. So that's definitely going to be there.
Right. They're going to mention that there's a sprint button, and everyone who likes Halo is going to go, "No,"
Yeah. All right.
and that's
So
going to be it.
to be continued for Xbox. Also on Sunday is Square Enix. Um, they're gonna follow right after
Mm.
Microsoft, and they've
Mhm.
kind of already confirmed some stuff that's going to be there, and it's nothing I'm looking forward to, unfortunately. But Babylon's
I'm
Fall.
looking to be a complete hypocrite. I might be looking forward to the mobile Final Fantasy VII thing
I'm interested in that. I'm
because
curious, but I'm very
I'm also
skeptical.
curious.
I might play it,
I'm
but I'm
very
very skeptical.
skeptical.
But
The thing that's blowing my brain out is that they're going to try and take the whole of the strange and dubious Final Fantasy VII like
ex- like
anthology
expanded universe stuff,
everything,
yeah,
and they're gonna put it all in one
yeah,
game with the gameplay of Final Fantasy
yeah.
VII.
But
And
from
on
what's
paper,
that's a great idea,
seems
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
But
But who
it's a mobile
knows?
game, and they're
Yeah,
it's gonna have
exactly.
a bad monetization model. But we will maybe not. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
But Square Enix
Maybe
didn't
not.
actually
If you want
confirm
people to
anything
call
as
you
far
a
as Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts
yeah.
related. It's mostly like. But I think that stuff's gonna be there. But as far as what they've confirmed so far, it's mostly like their acquisitions kind of stuff, like Life is
Yep.
Strange, the Avengers game.
Holy mackerel, a Life is Strange game is coming out in 2021. I can't believe
There's a
that.
rumor, so I guess supposedly there's gonna be a Guardians of the Galaxy game by Eidos. Could be cool, I guess.
Oh,
I feel like Marvel's trying to make a video game universe, but the Avengers game kind of flopped. Spider-Man
the
was great.
Avengers game really
I
sucks.
think a Guardians of the Galaxy
I
game
don't know
makes more
if
sense, but I don't know.
yeah,
That's just a rumor. But yeah, I'm
you
more hoping to
fly
see Final Fantasy
around.
stuff. I'd love to
Yeah,
see
you
Final
fly around and
Fantasy
shoot.
16 stuff. Um,
Oh my lord. I'm very excited about that because the game seems finished. The game seems like it is nearing its completion, which, given Final Fantasy and Square Enix track record, they will announce a game and then come out with it a decade later.
yeah, the thing is, like,
So
when they first revealed it, I remember it was like way farther along than we ever for something that hadn't been mentioned till that point. It was like
I
very
think they
far
were like,
along.
we're 70 like 5%
Like
done.
it
I
looks
was like,
very different
you're
in a very
lying.
cool way. Like looks
Yeah,
darker.
looks medieval.
Yeah, more like Western fantasy inspired.
Yeah, I no boy band people in like cool
And I loved 15.
streetwear
I know 15
either.
was mixed. I loved it. Not the best Final
Yeah,
Fantasy, but I liked it a lot. But
yeah, there
16
was a lot
looks
to like
very
about it.
unique, and I know it's going to be made. It's being directed not by Nomura, but by the guy who basically revitalized 14, the MMO that like had a bad start, but then got reborn and is now like good. I guess I don't
And
play MMOs, but
yeah,
that's
critically acclaimed with the critically acclaimed award-winning expansion Heaven's Sword.
yeah. But again, we might not see anything Final Fantasy. It literally might just be Life is Strange and Marvel stuff, which would suck, but it's possible. That's all they've
That would
confirmed.
be great. Did you know the Marvel game had DLC that
Yeah, I
came
know.
out?
I know. I know. I don't know
I
what it is, but I
I
know it
couldn't
happened.
believe it.
I know Ant Man's one
Yeah,
of
you
them.
go and yeah, everyone's dead and like Hawkeye is the one you play as. Yeah, that sounds real exciting.
Yeah. I like.
Remember when they turned Hawkeye into a Mortal Kombat character in like Endgame?
Oh yeah.
That was
I
hilarious. They
know.
gave him like swords and like a tunic. Like he really just looked like he was from Mortal Kombat, huh?
Yeah, I didn't think of
What
it
a
that way at the
king.
time, but you're right. But yeah, the Marvel game, like the Avengers game, I heard like some people said, "Oh, it's okay," but just it's so like
Yeah.
not interesting. So,
Yeah.
not the Avengers game we need nor want, but who knows?
Nor
Maybe
the
they'll do
one we
more Marvel
deserve.
projects in the future that will be like actually kind of cool. I don't know.
I
So, also happening
Guardians
on
game
Sunday
is
is the PC gaming show, which I don't
yeah,
know.
PC gamers, am I right?
That's always a very mixed bag. Like they'll show things like very things that only like super PC gamers care about, like the real time strategy games and stuff. That
Oh
don't
my
like
God.
I'm not into, but some people are way into. The PC gaming show is weird for stuff like that, but
Yeah.
that's like some. There was like one time there was a remaster announced of some like classic real time strategy that I don't even remember what it was, but maybe it was an Age of
I
Empires game. I don't know, something I don't care about it, but like people got really
yeah.
excited. So like, good for them. Not my cup
I
of
dead
PC
ass
tea.
hope. I really dead ass hope Nvidia just says we're making more graphics cards and we're going to like implement a system so that people won't buy them en masse and then make them make cryptocurrency
That would be
because
amazing if they announced that.
that
I don't know
shit.
if like that's the kind of thing that's not going to be hype to people, but that would be so important. So I don't know.
Oh,
That'd be great.
if it was there, it would be hyped. Trust me, because the fact that people are buying out all of the good graphics cards and making them mine Bitcoin.
I completely agree with you. Like, it's very much an issue. I don't think it's an issue that a lot of like the mainstream public masses are like consciously aware of.
Oh my
Enough that it's gonna be
Lanta. Yeah.
like. But yeah,
Like
that's a
an
far fetched opinion. I don't
announcement.
know how they do it and implement something that would prevent that, and I don't think they know if they'd want to because as much they're making money too off the crypto scams. Like,
They
but
are, and that's
in happier
disgusting.
news, though, apparently, maybe happier
Yeah.
news, I don't know. Valve,
Perfect.
I'm not on the page still here, but I just recently saw a headline today that Valve is going to be at the PC gaming show.
They're coming out with a Nintendo Switch
Yes,
thing.
that was yeah. It's a handheld PC kind
That's
of that works with Steam, which I not gonna lie sounds pretty dope. But I know it's gonna be outrageously
it's
expensive, and like 5 people are gonna own it, and that's gonna be it.
so.
So
Do you remember Steam machines? I think we literally joked about them in college
yeah,
together. I was like, "When are you
like
buying your $800 Steam machine?" And you're like,
Valve's thing
"Pretty soon,
now is
man."
that they won't make games unless it's to promote new hardware. So like, if anything, like this thing, maybe they'll make a new Portal or a new Half Life to go along with it, like they did for Alex to promote their VR.
Man,
But
Alex is a great game. I can't wait to play it one day.
yeah, again, I hope it gets ported to the PSVR too. I don't. There's rumors, but I don't know.
Well,
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Valve could any day now. Valve could like completely turn around and say like, yeah, we're actually making games again. Team Fortress 3 is
any
happening.
day now.
But
Any
and
day
like
now.
I'm not expecting it at this E3 or any E3 by any stretch of the imagination, but like it could happen any day, and that's Valve's thing, is announcing things with no fanfare that end up being the only thing people talk about. That's always been their thing.
Just like how a meteor could fall from the sky and destroy a continent.
Well, I'm not saying
Steam
like
could
I don't
start
think it's gonna
making-
happen.
Valve
What
could
I'm
start
saying
making
is if
games
it does happen, it's gonna be something that comes out of nowhere that wasn't predicted by anyone.
and it's
Like
gonna be something that promotes something.
yeah,
They're like, hey, we're coming out with a third controller. You can pilot it using your tongue,
yeah.
and we're making a Portal spin-off.
Like I remember one time I read some article once that it was Gabe Newell often was talking about how I'm jealous of Shigeru Miyamoto because Nintendo can just make games and do what they want. Like
Yup.
we're not allowed to. We can't do that at Valve. I'm like, why not? What's stopping you?
One day,
Like you can. You're choosing
Literally
not to.
one
But anyway,
day.
Gabe Newell. I not to crap on the guy. He's a good man, I guess. But yeah, PC Gaming
okay.
Show could reveal something. Apparently, also not at the PC Gaming Show, but also on Sunday at the Future Gaming Show. I don't really know what that is, but there's going to be, I guess, confirmed we're going to see something, but from Back 4 Blood. Speaking of Valve,
Oh, stop! I forgot it.
I'm very excited.
If
I'm gonna
that's a
wait for
thing
like the
that
first
exists.
few reviews, for the first few like non-paid
Yeah.
for reviews, because it's either gonna like there's two ways this can go. It's either gonna be just yes, this is basically just Left 4 Dead 3 by another name, and it's just as fun as it was back in 2010. Enjoy.
I would cry.
Or it's gonna
I
be
would
like
cry.
they tried to put it to be cute and put in too many extra things that just don't work well. And it's one of those
Yep.
things that's so bad that we like realized that Left 4 Dead was never fun to begin with. So I'm more leaning toward that it's gonna be good. Like everything we've seen so far, it looks like it's gonna be they're playing it safe, and it's gonna be simple and just fun, like Left 4 Dead was. But it could also flop hard because I feel like it's too good to be true for if it would just be just as good as Left 4 Dead.
If it was just Left 4 Dead 3, I can and will just start sobbing like a little baby.
Yeah, like from what we've seen,
You
the
know.
characters I don't think are as charming as the Left 4 Dead characters. Some of them are, but like the like main female characters just kind of got that like I'm a cool modern age chick with a baseball bat. Like I'm Harley Quinn
Rochelle-
without the makeup. I'm sassy. And
I hope not. Rochelle was just a person.
Yeah.
Like, Coach was just a person, and like, God, Ellis is probably like half of the people that you know down in Vermont. Like,
Yeah.
they characterize them very fucking well, and I really hope they don't make them like quirky.
Yeah, like I think the last trailer showed more. We thought it was just gonna be the 4 characters, but it looks like there's more than just the 4 that were shown in the first trailer. And the new ones right now seem kind of cool. Like you can't see it because you're on your phone, but like on the screen right now, I have a
Yeah.
picture of all the confirmed characters, and some of them seem more interesting
I've
than
been
others.
blinded.
Like it's only going to be 4 people playing at once, but you'll have a choice of characters. And some of them seem cool.
God, I hope it's good.
Like I'm hoping they don't go too far into each character has their own abilities, and because then it could turn into just like Overwatch crap. Like,
It could
but-
turn into Overwatch.
Like-
Heroes never die.
but it like I'm still excited for it. Like I'm gonna wait for reviews to buy it because things could go very bad very quickly, but also I'm optimistic. So yeah, that's Sunday.
Yeah.
Monday is going to be, according to this website, it says starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. The schedule's a bit of a mystery. We know that Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer, the like freaking keyboard company, and Capcom will all stream presentations throughout the day, but we aren't sure when quite yet. Take-Two Interactive will host a diversity, equity, and inclusion panel, and Verizon and Intellivision will be featured. Yeah, like
Intellivision?
I know Intellivision is making. I know that Intellivision is making like some quirky, like modern retro console where you can. It sounds like the Ouya, honestly, but like with more effort put into it. I don't think it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be like a niche collector's item that's kind of cool, but
Did they make Fast Eddie?
no, that was Atari. I don't know. No.
Damn it! I was about to say, I hope they look at the fucking camera, and I hope they say, "Please look forward to Fast Eddie 2."
Imagine.
And it's just like, and it's like the Sonic Day stages, Sonic Unleashed. That's my hopes and dreams.
That would be incredible. It's not going to happen at all, but it would be incredible. And this is the most niche thing we'll probably ever talk about on this channel. And that's saying a lot, knowing me and how niche my tastes are.
Oh man.
But yeah, Monday
God,
could go in a lot of
please.
directions, but Capcom being there is interesting. Let's talk about Capcom now, because we got to talk about Exodus later. So Capcom, we were talking about this earlier, just the two of us.
I'm a huge frothing Capcom stan. I mean, they were really kind of sleeping on the job. I want to say like half a decade ago with like the 4 and Street Fighter 4 and 5 and just like, oh man, help me.
But I think they're trying to get around, and
they really are.
I think
Very
what we
happy
can,
for them.
we're probably gonna see, like almost guaranteed, I think, is some sort of DLC for Resident Evil 8. I'm hoping the DLC is as good as 7's, because 7 it was like honestly like should be a shining example of what DLC should be, and like not just more of the same, but also solid enough content that is worth paying for. And most DLC is not that. And
it was a little touch and go for Resident Evil 7 because, like we were talking about before, for every you play as a baker grandpa with a power glove, here's a gauntlet mode, but everyone's wearing silly clothes.
it was fun though. Like the way they released it was usually like the banned footage. There'd be like one kind of weird mini game-ish thing, and then one like story DLC, and then End of Zoe was like its own thing.
It was free, right?
It was
Zoe
cheap.
Wasn't?
No, the only one that was free was the Chris Redfield one, the Not a Hero, and that was only free because it was like delayed. But still, like
it was delayed. And I think the final boss was skin. Do I remember that right? Because I did play
yes, the final boss was Lucas. Yeah.
And then Lucas turned into like a heavy monster.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, great.
But yeah, I think Resident Evil 8 DLC is pretty likely. I just hope it's good. But I also hope, and I don't expect, because again, I think they're going to wait for the PSVR 2 to be formally announced, but I'm hoping, really hoping that it gets confirmed that it's going to come to VR. Because I'm waiting to play it till it does, because I'm not going to ruin it, because 7 in VR is one of the best game experiences I've ever had. And 8, I'm sure the game itself is still good. But yeah, it's guaranteed it's gonna happen. I'm not guaranteed, but like it's pretty likely it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know when or how long, and what would be real. And like people are speculating it's probably gonna be a big seller for the PSVR 2. But I'm just kind of hoping they don't have to spend that much money yet, and they might just like say, "Hey, it's gonna come to PSVR 1 first." Also, not expecting that, but hoping.
Edited. So here's a weird one. Someone edited 8 and modded it and gave it a third-person view, and it was really good looking. Now, imagine a VR experience where you look down and you see Ethan's little feetsies, and you're not just a pair of floating arms.
I know. Yeah.
I think that would give it the immersion that 7 was kind of lacking. I mean, you can really make that look really silly if
Yeah,
you just
yeah. I mean,
put
I
your
didn't
little
mind too
VR
much.
goggles and
Like, I played a lot of VR games
yeah.
and like a lot of smaller budgeted VR games, and you don't always see your character's arms and feet, but like, it's nice when you do.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yeah, and if you can edit it to make it third person and it looks fine, like that means the models are there. That means if they wanted to make a slightly less janky looking, first person VR experience, they could. They could do a little something something.
yeah.
I hope
Um,
I hope they play with it a little bit
yeah.
more.
I'm really looking forward to it when eventually it does come to VR. Hopefully sooner rather than
Yeah.
later, but
Oh,
probably not. Um,
could we have a break for 1 second so I may go to the bathroom?
sure.
All right, I will return post
While you're
haste and
gone, I will
empty
just
my
put.
bladder.
I will do a slideshow of fan art of Lady Dimitrescu because that's not going to go bad anytime soon. And I'm not actually going to do that. I'm just going to look at pictures. So Ace is taking a poop right now. Oh, look, it's Jack. He's smiling. But yeah, if you didn't play the Resident Evil 7 DLC, the main one's End of Zoe. You play as this guy Joe Baker, and it becomes like a boxing game. It's like done really well. I want a full game like that sometime. It's just really cool. You punch it. It's just so campy and silly, in contrast with the main game, which was like genuinely scary and like intense, which is good. I like that direction, but like this was a nice different thing. That's what I mean, like DLC that does something
He
different.
picks up a power glove from the floor and goes, "I love the power glove. It's so bad."
I wish, but close enough. Yeah.
Ugh, now I hate to cut this baby short, but I've got to bring my beautiful, beautiful girlfriend to work at I think about 9:50. So we got to fast mode
Okay,
this
so
baby.
all right. So Capcom Resident Evil 8 DLC is probably going to happen.
Yeah. I will tell you exactly what would make me cry if they announced it tomorrow.
Yes.
And there was a little talk from Mr. Itsuno, Mr. Devil May Cry, Dragon's Dogma man. He said Capcom gave me two choices to make either Dragon's Dogma 2 or DMC 5, and he chose DMC 5, but now he's working on something else. If that
Ooh,
was Dragon's Dogma 2, I would probably cry.
that would be
And if it
pretty
was Devil
amazing.
May Cry 6, I would probably cry and scream and cry. But I think he's washing one hand with the other. I think he might do a little Dragon's Dogma. And I know you haven't played it, Jeremy.
Yeah.
It's dirt cheap on the PlayStation 5 uh, with like all the bells and whistles, the DLC, et cetera, et cetera. It is a very, very emergent and interesting RPG, like action RPG with like hit stop on all your attacks, and it's got a magic system which is bonkers because you can charge up a high level spell and create a tornado
Okay.
that lifts up and just displaces
Yeah,
everyone
I'll
and
play it
just
eventually.
melts
I always thought it looked
cars.
interesting and new and cool, but like, I mean, if they do announce
It's
the
incredible.
sequel, I might just like wait for that. But that'd be very a
Yeah,
great surprise. But yeah, since you need to
I
hurry up,
would
we
cry.
need to get through this. So,
Yeah, yeah,
last
yeah,
day
yeah. Let's
is
go, go, go.
Tuesday, and that's Nintendo's day. So about Nintendo. So
Oh boy.
my usually my favorite thing about E3 is like really out of left field announcements that no one could have predicted, and usually those happen at
Yep.
Nintendo. This year, however,
Yep.
I don't want that because Nintendo has too many
Yep.
projects cooking that are big that we haven't heard about.
Yep.
We need to hear about Metroid Prime 3 and Breath of the Wild 2 and I mean not Metroid 3, Metroid Prime 4 Breath of the Wild 2
Yeah.
and Bayonetta 3. We need to hear something about one of those before they bring out like another Kirby game or something. Like,
It would be incredible if they gave us information on any of
yeah,
those.
I
You know,
don't think we're going to hear about all of them, but I do hope. I think we might hear about one of them. I'm leaning towards Breath of the Wild 2. I will hear
do
something
you
about.
think their powered up Switch thing is real? Because
I, th-
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
probably, but I don't know if it's like going to be that big of a deal when it happens.
I think it might upres things. It might like feature like fancy surround sound or something.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if it exists.
Yeah, but like I'm not
Because
I
they're
don't.
kind
My
of
standard
alone
Switch
there.
is fine. Like unless it has exclusive
Yeah.
games, I don't really care.
Yeah, really, how much more juice, how much more juice could they pull out of those cartridges? I think can't those cartridges at the most only handle like 34 megabytes storage
Something like that.
for a video
Gigabytes even.
game,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm not
Geez,
expecting.
I say megabytes exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I
like I don't care as much about hardware as I do about games, and just I want to hear something what they've already announced before they do something else. But
no more
also,
Heroes 3. Let's go.
yeah. But also,
That's about all I got.
I mean, we'll probably see the next Smash character. There's still 2 left. It's probably gonna be something crazy.
Yep.
Because the last
Yep.
one was like whatever, it was the Xenoblade character. So the next one will probably be something wild.
I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot.
But speaking
they
of Xenoblade,
existed.
something I do hope Nintendo does,
Sakurai,
Switch port of Xenoblade Chronicles X, which because right now that's like the last good Wii U game that hasn't been ported to the Switch, of the ones that like
I
could.
thought they were. I thought they ported that.
They
Was
no
that
they
just
ported
one.
that was the one remastered. X they did not announce yet, but
Yeah, that
X
was just
X is the
Rhyme
weird
Time.
sci-fi one. I haven't played it, but like for some reason
Yeah.
it's been showing up in my YouTube recommendations lately, and it's a crazy game. Like it's not as much of a character-driven story, but it is still one of the largest video game open worlds that exists, and it's like warranted. There's like stuff to do in it. Like it's supposedly 5 times larger than Skyrim. It's like it's massive and like handcrafted, not just like procedurally generated, and like there's actually stuff to do in it. Like
I was gonna say, do they use it? Well?
yeah, I've heard. I haven't played it, but everyone says like yeah, it's probably the best open world games in terms of like ratio of size to content. Like it's brilliant, and I haven't played it, but I honestly, if they
Insane.
don't announce it on the Switch, I might just get it for the Wii U because I'm curious. But yeah, that's really the last one of the Wii U games that could be ported to the Switch, like the ones that don't use the gamepad like as a quirky feature
They
that
really
could.
just went one after the other,
Yeah.
didn't they?
That's a
They
smart thing to
really
do.
just did.
But the other
It's
thing about the
smart
Nintendo's
because,
conference, like
Yeah.
I think that Nintendo's conference, like for any of the like niche things that are going to be exciting to the right people, but not to everyone, that's
Yeah.
Nintendo's conference is going to be where that's going to happen.
Yep.
So one thing my prediction that I am very confident in is a Rune Factory 5 Western release date because it's already out in Japan, and we know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
coming to the West. We just doesn't have a release date. So I'm expecting that, and I'm expecting it's going to be sometime this year. That the release date
Yeah.
is. Also, you're gonna laugh when I say
And-
this, but I'm not really expecting this. But another one of those weird niche things that they could announce is something on the new Melty Blood.
Oh my
Because it's
lord.
confirmed for
I
Switch. It's
forgot-
confirmed for Switch.
forgot
But
about
that's all we know
Melty
about
Blood.
it. We
How
know
could
it's going to
you
be on Switch
forget?
and PS4. It's going to have rollback netcode. And we saw like 20 seconds of
Well, good.
gameplay, but we don't know anything else about it. So I think that's, if anywhere at E3 we're going to hear about it, which you're probably not, but if we are, I'm expecting at Switch. The Nintendo
Rollback.
showcase. So that's the last
The
day of the
Falcon
show.
is, yeah.
But before you have to
Yeah.
go, some other like publishers that are going to be here that I want to talk about. And I was just going to go down the
course.
list and read all of them, but we don't have time for that. But one thing I do want to talk
We
about,
could do a follow up.
We could,
definitely
yeah.
do a follow up. Yeah.
but before we go,
back
one thing, the thing I'm probably most excited about in terms of things that are likely to happen but haven't been confirmed, Warner
Yeah.
Brothers Games is confirmed to be there, and Warner Brothers owns NetherRealm.
Brothers game. Batman.
well, not that. No, no. Well, yes, but like, I'm thinking more.
I don't know why
You're
thought
not. You're
about
not like what I'm about
Animaniacs,
to
the
say
video
is
game.
well. First of all, the main thing is that they own NetherRealm, which makes Mortal Kombat, etc. And they have a game. We know they're working on something, and Ed Boon's a troll and hints at things all the time. He's the kind that he's like a fanboy of his own franchise, so he'll just say things like, "Wouldn't it be cool if?" And everyone, of course, takes that as like that's gonna happen. But what interesting to me,
Animaniacs, the character action game.
what's interesting to me is that there was
high time, yeah.
there was a leak a while ago that said that Injustice 3 isn't going to be the next game. And it wasn't a super credible leak, so I don't know why everyone was taking it as like law. But like, let's theorize for a second. Injustice 3 is the next game. What are the other options? Mortal Kombat 13, probably not going to happen because Mortal Kombat 11 is still going strong.
11 is wrecked.
No, not 13, 12.
I think it has a couple.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be more content for 11, but I think the competitive scene's still going to last for a while. And it just seems too soon for that. Other option is the big rumor is they're working on something Marvel related, which some people are saying it's going to be just a Marvel game. Some people say it's Marvel versus DC. For a while, I don't think either of those made sense because of like Disney owning Marvel, but like apparently Disney like lets Warner Brothers games do stuff with Marvel properties sometimes because Disney just doesn't care about video games really. Like the Lego Marvel games are made by Warner Brothers.
Okay, weird. Okay,
so
very weird.
That would be cool, the Marvel versus DC thing. I don't super believe it, but it could happen. That
would be insane.
What would be even more insane, though, hear this out. Nice. This is something that I don't think is super likely, but would be my ideal next NetherRealm game. Would be a all horror characters game because Ed Boon has joked about it before, saying like, I mean, they've already had lots of horror characters in Mortal Kombat. Like, we've already been acquiring these licenses. We might as well just do it someday. Again, Ed Boon just says these things, but like, how cool would that be to have an all horror characters game? Like,
I would absolutely lose my mind.
That's my like high hope of like Hail Mary hope of what this game would be. I don't think it's going to happen, but here's the thing.
Yeah,
it's probably just going to be Injustice 3. The leak was probably wrong, but.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound super exciting, but here's something that might make it kind of interesting. The rumor going around...
characters in Injustice.
What's that?
Horror characters in Injustice.
Yes, but here's something that's more likely that there's another rumor about. So Injustice 3, you sound like, okay, DC characters, whatever. But what if I tell you this? Yeah. Injustice 3 with Watchmen characters.
Oh, man.
That was a heavy rumor from last year's E3, which didn't happen. So,
Lord.
That's a strong possibility.
Don't forget, there's also a Suicide Squad game definitely coming out.
Yeah, they're probably going to show that. That could be interesting. I mean, I kind of hate Harley Quinn as a character. But it looks.
I can't hate her. I love her so much.
The Suicide Squad game could be cool, but here's moving off of DC for a second though. Something I think is honestly kind of likely, possibly in some aspect for Warner Brothers. Yeah. What's the biggest movie coming out soon that you know of? Just see if you can guess it.
Well, you said Warner Brothers, so the thing that came to my mind was like, I don't know, Robert Pattinson. Batman.
Oh yeah, that. But the actual biggest movie that Warner Brothers is working on right now is Dune.
Dune, the video.
So listen, they confirmed Warner Brothers really wants Dune to be a massive franchise. Because to fill the void of like Star Wars just ending, Marvel Infinity Saga just ending, it's like this. Warner Brothers is Disney's only real rival, so they need to. This is their time to step in, and I think they want Dune to be that. They've already confirmed that
playable Kyle MacLachlan. I want his eyes to glow blue with that.
They've
really
confirmed
bad
that there's going to be multiple Dune TV shows, like streaming series, miniseries, a sequel to the movie if it does well. they've said they're definitely looking into video games. So I think it's possible we'll see a reveal of a Dune game in some respect. There,
I
ha-
I
there
think
have
it
been
would.
Dune games in the past. They were all like real time strategy games. Supposedly they were good. I don't like
Yeah.
again. I don't like real time strategy games, but imagine like an open world Dune RPG, like a Bethesda style RPG. How cool would that be?
Yeah, screw it. I was one of the massive weirdos who thoroughly enjoyed the Mad Max game.
Yeah,
I I
I didn't play it,
think
but it looked
you
cool.
could take. Oh yeah, I think you could take like you know just just nerdy movie series and make competent gaming experiences out of them. I think the spice could flow.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
sounds
like
incredible.
I think it's honestly kind of likely that I think Dune video games are inevitable, but I think it's
Yeah.
possible that we'll see one of them at A3, whatever
God, I
form it may
hope
take.
that.
And hey, maybe this all full circle. Maybe NetherRealm's next game is the Dune fighting game. Wouldn't make a lick of sense, but wouldn't that be
Oh.
just swell?
Maybe Steven Universe will give Kyle MacLachlan the redemption arc he deserves. Kyle, you don't have to abuse spice. You can be yourself.
So yeah,
Everyone likes you for who you are, Kyle. And he's like, "Thank you, Stephen. Would
are
you
you
like
thinking
some
it's not?
sugar pie?"
Who is Kyle MacLachlan playing in Dune? I know it's Timothy Chalamet as Paul, but
Oh, no, well, he was in the original one. He
oh
was
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
original
Okay, yeah.
Dune, and his
You still there? I lost you. Well, on that note, Asa's disappeared into the void, which you could talk more about. He did say he had to leave soon anyway, so I might as well just end this here. Maybe we'll do a follow up. Maybe after E3 we'll talk about things. But yeah, lots of things to be excited for. Lots of things to be disappointed about if they turn out bad. But like, there's a lot of weird potential here. Like I said, like the Dune possibility of a Dune game. That's a weird potential. I don't not something that's been rumored or people have been talking about, but it's something that's possible, like very possible, and would be interesting. The next NetherRealm game, whatever it may be, very excited about that. Nintendo better not disappoint us. That's all I'm saying. They need to. I want them good things to happen with Nintendo. One good things to happen with Square Enix. Oh, there you are. Hi. I was doing
yeah.
like
So I have to go.
yeah. I was doing a
My
closing
main
statement anyway because you cut
prediction.
out. But yeah.
Yeah.
I guess before we leave,
My
just like
main
let's each just say
prediction.
the one thing we're most looking forward to possibly happening.
Yeah. The 4K ultra scaled up Jack and Daxter one remaster. That's definitely happening.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
looking forward
you're far. You're like shoot for the moon. Hope is the Jack and Dexter. Well, mine would probably be honestly the NetherRealm horror fighting game. Like I don't think it's gonna happen, but that would
That
probably
should
be the
happen.
most cool thing that could happen, but probably won't. That I'm throwing in the ring there.
It's probably not going to happen, but it could happen.
Yeah. Yours is probably more
All
likely,
right.
but
Well,
anyway, yeah. Thanks for
I will
watching. Maybe
talk
we'll
to
do a
you
follow up
later.
after E3.
Yeah,
See,
we
it's
will. Or during, probably. Who
it's
knows?
happening. I would love to stream during E3, but it's happening at weird times. I don't think I'll be able to. I might be at work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll get weird with it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, here's
If
hoping.
you want
Here's
to, if you
hoping.
want to stream on your own, and I'll and send me the file and upload to the channel later, sure. But I just don't think I'll be able to.
I'll try. I'll give it a shot. I'm
Yeah.
still moving into my new place, but
Right.
let's see if we could get something like that going on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you want to put solo content on the channel, we can do that.
Yeah,
But
let's
yeah,
do it. All right. Well,
thanks
I'll
for
talk to
watching.
you later.
see ya.
Oh, see ya. See ya.
You too.
Video game.
Video game. All right. Yeah, see ya. Hope you all have something to look forward to at E3, whatever it may be. Hopefully something cool and surprising will happen. You don't have much longer to wait. It starts on Saturday. So yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.